Today I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning and I hit a workout. It's now 10:43, a few hours later after I hit that workout. It was a lighter thing because I have a competition coming up and I didn't eat anything beforehand, and most of the time I try not to eat anything before a majority of my workouts. I like to work out fasted, if that makes sense. And yeah, I just want to make this video to say that I like to work out fasted, and I think that you could try it out for yourself because it has made a difference in my workouts in terms of like the quality of them and just my life in general. And so if I hopefully by sharing that, maybe I can inspire you to do it as well and at least give it a shot. Even if it's not for you long term, maybe you can still try it out and see how it goes. Yeah, my name's Keegan. I make YouTube videos talking about like diet and stuff and just about getting to a better place in life. So yeah, let's just talk about why I work out fasted most of the time. So the first thing is I get better workouts from working out fasted. Some people will say, oh, you need to fuel, you need to eat carbs, you need to do this thing if you want to have the most optimal workout. I disagree. Whenever I used to eat a ton of food before working out, I always feel like slower and more lethargic and more tired, and I just feel less motivated to really, give it my all and to work out. I also feel really like weighed down by the food itself. Maybe I have some water with it because I gotta hydrate, right? And it's just like there's this like weight in my stomach that I have to move around, especially if I'm going for a run or something like that. It's just kind of like this like there's something in my stomach that just isn't making me feel that good, you know? And so it's just not a beneficial thing for me, at least, to have that sort of like weight in the stomach. And something that I've also learned about like digestion is that digestion is one of the more like taxing parts of like the things that we do. You know how you've probably heard of this before, like NEAT, like non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's like the stuff that you do, like this, like me itching my arm, right? It's like the hand movements or whatever, right? It's not like actual exercise. And then you also just have like the cost of existing as like the group of the calories that you burn, right? Like there's just the basal metabolic rate, there's your exercise, there's the non-exercise thermogenesis stuff, and then there's like the thermic effect of food, I think, as well. But the basal metabolic rate, the reason why that's a majority of your calories is because it takes a lot to live, right? And digestion, I'm pretty sure, is one of those. It's one of those processes that takes up just a crap ton of energy and resources. And so whenever you eat food, you're diverting a lot of resources to your stomach, not to your muscles that you want to be working out, right? Not your heart isn't. I guess it probably is getting blood all of the time, right? But it's probably not in the amounts that you want it, especially like your muscles probably aren't getting the amount of blood that they could be getting, is as if you weren't digesting food, you weren't trying to do that. Because I mean, your body's probably trying to pull out as many nutrients as it can so it can survive. And just for me, I just see it as they're like competing systems, you know? Like you always hear this like fight or flight and like rest and digest. I think whenever you're exercising, you want to be in sort like a semi like fight or flight mode, because that's what you're kind of training for, right? Like especially if you're like a fighter, like you're literally training to fight. So you should probably practice being in that state, right? And then like rest and digest, that's literally like you're resting. It's not exercise. You're chilling out. You're meant to chill out so your body can like do its thing and like repair and take all the food that it needs. And so like I said, it just seems like they're like competing systems of like exercise and then eating food. It just doesn't seem like they should mix. So yeah, that's the one of the reasons why I like to work out faster. It's just because like I get better workouts, and it just seems like competing, like systems almost. The next thing on why I work out fasted is because I'm fueled most of the time. So again, kind of going back to that fueling issue, like some people will eat pre-workout to have like to fuel their workout, right? Like they'll have some sort of like carbohydrate powder or whatever to make sure they have enough energy to get through the workout. And I just think that's like I don't think that's really necessary, but also I'm on a ketogenic diet, so basically my body should be pretty like I haven't measured it, but my body should be producing ketones because I don't eat like any carbohydrates whatsoever. And so my body is basically fueled all of the time, right? It's coming off of my fat stores, and also the food that I ate the day previously is still like sort of digesting, or the nutrients are like getting to like the small intestine by that point. And so like I should be good. I should be good. I don't really need to eat right before the workout and just, push more resources to my stomach, right? And then add weight to my body to make it heavier to like run or something like that. And another thing with keto is I also don't get like super ultra hungry. Like yes, I can still put down a lot of food because I'm because I'm a I'm a young guy, so I like to eat. But I don't feel like ultra hungry all the time. Like I've been awake for almost was it 7 hours now, and I don't feel that hungry whatsoever. Like I could probably just drink more water and be perfectly fine. Like I don't feel very hungry whatsoever. And yeah, and so it's just really comfortable. It's just really comfortable to be on keto because my stomach isn't full of water or anything like that, and I don't get ultra hungry like I was saying. Because I remember whenever I used to eat carbs, I would get insane cravings for just like sugar and just a bunch of stuff to eat just constantly. And I don't feel that uncomfortability anymore from not eating. So it's just actually comfortable to be fasted because I'm in that state constantly of ketosis. Or at least most of the time. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, the next thing is whenever I do get hungry, I find that whenever I work out fasted and I'm like kind of hungry, it kind of adds a little bit of oomph into the workout or the competition. So I remember I used to fast before soccer games sometimes, and I would just go bananas in it. Like I'd be sprinting up and down the field trying to get the ball. I played in like the center of the field like a midfielder, so I'd be running all over the place, basically like running the entire time. Sometimes sprinting, like at least jogging, probably 90% of the game. So I was moving around a lot, but I was just like schmoving, and I felt better whenever I would fast. I didn't feel too big of a difference, but I felt lighter. I felt stronger, and it's kind of this weird extra little bit of motivation that you get whenever you're hungry, in the sense that you kind of pull on this like primal caveman hunger energy, and you're like, I'm going to go out and kill this. I'm going to go out and like do my best. It's kind of like imagine a caveman back in the day. Whenever he was hungry, he would go out to hunt, right? And that motivation to hunt came from that hunger. You'd be like, "Urgh," like you'd sprint after the buffalo harder or the mammoth more because he was hungry. He was like, I want to get this thing, like extra motivation. And so you just kind of like draw on that a little bit. At least I do personally whenever I'm hungry, and it's like I'm going to dominate this workout. I'm going to crush this workout. Yeah, just like primal. I've written down here primal caveman want mammoth energy. But yeah, that sort of energy you can kind of draw on whenever you're fasted, and I don't think you get the same whenever you're hungry, or whenever you have like a pre-workout meal, because sometimes that can be nice. You kind of satisfy yourself, but then you kind of go into the gym and you're kind of just like comfortable, like yeah, yeah, I'm ready to go. Lift some weights, kind of casually. It's not something that like you're out there like like trying to get better at. Like there's some people like this is I can't really articulate that. But like there's gonna be some people obviously who still go hard, but I just feel like it's easier to go harder whenever you don't have anything in your stomach, if that makes sense. As like counterintuitive as that sounds, it's I feel like it's easier to go harder because it's kind of like you're like on the hunt, if that makes sense. But yeah, the next aspect as to why I work out fasted is because I find that it builds a lot of mental toughness and discipline. So in the morning, I have a choice, right? Whenever I wake up, I have a choice to either sit down or cook breakfast and then sit down and eat it, and then go to the gym, mosey on over, lift some weights. Or I have the option to wake up, hop in the cold shower, drive to, like, hydrate myself, drive to the gym, smash the workout, and then come home and eat. But during that second option, I have to resist the temptation to eat food, even though it'll taste good, even though it'll be nice to just kind of like sit there and enjoy the food. I have to resist that temptation if I want to kind of build that discipline of like, okay, no, I'm going to do this thing, even though it's a little bit harder. I'm still going to go do it because I found that it's just like, again, it makes my workouts better, right? But it's so easy to just wake up, eat some breakfast, and take it easy that day. Eat some breakfast and then have like a light workout. Like they're not necessarily like correlative, but I've always found in my own life whenever I have like something to eat or something like nice and pleasurable beforehand, it generally makes the workout worse, right? I don't know if it's because I get slower, if it's because I like just mentally I'm not there because I had that like break before. I don't know what it is, but for me personally, I found that just kind of like getting up and just getting after it and not even like eating anything, it makes the workouts better. But I have to build that discipline to not eat and indulge on the easy stuff before I go and put in the work for the day. Before I go out and like metaphorically hunt, right? Hunt for the kill, right? But yeah, and so for most days, I try my best to pick the hard right over the easy wrong. That's something I've been hearing a lot more of recently, like picking the hard right over the easy wrong, and that's something that I want to do more of in my life. And I think by working out fasted, I'm at least partially embodying that. Yeah. Another point that I've written down here is like I'm definitely not perfect because I'm not. I'll be honest. Like for a while, this entire year, I've been eating before my workouts, and like I honestly, basically every single time, I regret it, but I still do it because I'm not at that point of like extreme discipline. I'm getting better at it, and I'm proud of myself for getting better at it. It's just like I'm not perfect for it, but I do understand that it makes my workouts generally worse, which is a good thing to know. At least I believe. And the fifth and final point as to why I like to work out fasted is because food after a hard workout tastes that much better. Food, especially whenever it's like a super almost like depleting workout. Maybe you sat in the sauna afterwards, like you sweat out electrolytes, you're hungry, you've given it a good effort for the day. And then you sit down and you enjoy a good meal that you made. One, you can kind of go ham because you haven't eaten up to the day up until that point. So you can eat until like you're full and you're comfortable, right? Which is something I like to do. I like to eat until I'm full, but doing that like multiple times a day, it kind of just like ends up to overeating and overdoing it, right? So just like sit down and just like enjoy a really good meal. it makes the food taste so good, dude. Whenever, especially whenever you're like depleted, like your body is like basically begging you at that point, like, bro, like let's eat something, and it just tastes so much better. Like you can taste the the flavor of the food, and if you really savor it, it just makes the experience so much better. Like I remember after, especially some like hard games, from playing soccer, or some like really difficult workouts that I would do, and I didn't eat like anything that leading up to that point, and then I just have one good meal. It is so freaking good, dude. Like the little bit of salt that I put on there, it tastes so good. Like I just can taste the flavor of like the eggs and the burgers or the steak. I can just like taste the umami, like the savory flavor. It just makes it so much better, dude. And it's just like you feel really satisfied, and then you can just sit down, relax, maybe like read a book or something like that when you're resting and digesting afterwards. And that's how I like to kind of like um systematize my life, I guess. It's where work out really hard, like fight or flight mode, get after it, attack the day, rest and digest. And then if I do two workouts in a day, it'll be kind of like segmented. The second workout probably won't be fasted, but it'll be enough time in between to where I'm not like super stuffed, if that makes sense. Like I really don't like to eat like right before workouts, even though sometimes I end up still doing that. But yeah, ideally, it's kind of like good workout in the morning, and if I'm training twice a day, it'll be like good workout in the morning, eat a decent sized meal, maybe all of my calories, right? And then wait a little bit, digest, and then a second workout near like the middle to the end of the day. I think that's like the ideal workout schedule for me. But yeah, that's really why I like to work out fast. So this isn't like a super long convoluted video. I was just trying to share with you. But yeah, I think if you my advice would be to someone who maybe wants to try this out is to just be aware that if you've been eating before your workouts for a while, it's going to take a little bit to get used to it. Like the first few times I did this, it was kind of like weird, and I felt kind of hungry before the workout. But I promise you, like if you get used to it, I think it'll help you out a lot. But if you kind of like split test it and you find that, eating before your workout, um yeah, like eating before your workout actually helps it, then like by all means, good for you. It's just for me personally, I find that I just have better workouts, at least subjectively, and technically objectively. Like I lift more whenever I'm fasted. But yeah, if you like split test it and you find that you feel and you do better by eating before, like okay. But I'd just say try it out. It'll take a little bit to kind of get used to it, but after you get used to it, in my experience, it gets a lot better and the workouts get better. So yeah, just make sure you're hydrating. I think that's the biggest thing that people might slack on is like make sure you're drinking enough water, maybe add a little bit of salt to your water. Something I learned recently actually is that people will actually eat food whenever they are thirsty, because food can kind of give you a little bit of like most of the food that we eat is mostly made of like water and whatnot. Because I mean, if you think about, I guess like meat or something like that, right? Like we as people are made of like, what was it, like 60-70% water, right? So there's a lot of water in just like the food that we eat in general, right? Whether that's like plants, animals, whatever, there's a lot of water in it, right? So people will eat food to like hydrate themselves almost, which doesn't make any sense. So you can avoid that, avoid getting the calories in, right? And just drink water, hydrate yourself, and you'll probably curb that craving in a weird way. I found that personally, like it's so weird that sometimes I'll be hungry, but then I'll just drink some like water with a little bit of salt in it. I won't go ham on the salt, but with a little bit of like a little salty water, right? It actually makes your hunger go away for at least a little bit, and it makes you like just you're hydrated, you feel good, energized. Yeah, those are some tips that I would give to someone who's just kind of like just starting to try this out. But yeah, that's all I got. That's why I like to work out fasted. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you should go subscribe. I hope you do try out working out fasted. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I hope this video has been somewhat helpful. But yeah, with that, if you like what I'm saying, again, you should go subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff. Go watch every single video. And I will see you in the next one. Be better and have a W day.